Hi, this is Colette from Soul Life Loving. Because I have gotten used to and going through portals, I can now see the different sort of portals that I've been through and what lessons I've learned going through them, and there's a difference in the sort of portals that I go through. So there's a healing one, and it's, when I approach it, it's a wall of shimmer, and it's opaque. It's not translucent, it's opaque, but it's shimmery, and it's soft. And when I'm going through an expelling healing, where I'm just trying to call out and pull out remnants left inside of me from old habits, that go back a really long way and are almost at the subconscious automatic level, and they need meditating on to show themselves. And quite often I don't learn the original thing until I've got rid of some of the peripheral angst. It's like the pus. I'm sorry, I know that sounds disgusting, but when you've got a wound and it's septic, it produces pus, and it's the pus that you want to get rid of, because what you want to get down to is you want to clear that, and you want to get down to the wound, and you want to heal the wound. But first of all, you've got to get rid of the pus. Now, sometimes if you don't want to acknowledge that there's this wound, you just keep going, I'll just squeeze this pus out and it'll be fine, I'll wash it down. But it comes back and it comes back, and it'll keep coming back until you deal with the wound. So what I say, my intention at the beginning is that I want to rid myself of negative habits that don't serve me anymore, don't have my best interests at heart, and hurt me because they negatively impact my automatic thinking, that drivel that runs on in your head, and you wonder why you're thinking about it. But it's part of the toxic, it's part of the poison that comes from the wound into the pus, and it's not pretty. And it's not pretty when you're thinking it, because you're harming yourself, because you could have really lovely thoughts in there and you can't, and it's really difficult to have nice thoughts when things are really horrible in your life. It takes an awful lot of self-will to have a long-term plan to escape, put it into action, be able to do it, and to accept sometimes that you've got yourself into this mess because of this old thinking that's been forced on you by other people's negativity. And one is prone to do this to one's own children, and I get that, because I can't remember who it was that said it, shameful, but he said, they fuck you up, your mum and dad, they don't mean to, but they do. Now, there's those kind, and then there's a kind that like to and mean to fuck you up along the way. But it leaves a wound on you, and you have to deal with your wounds, and you need to get them dealt with so that you can heal and think better thoughts. So one of the processes that I have to go through is, that's what I have to say. Because if I find myself, when I'm putting the key in the door, that I've unconsciously been thinking about things that aren't nice, that are grumpy or judgmental, I know that I've got an issue and I need to deal with it, and I need to get it healed. And so I need to know the source. And if I ask, I need to know the source. If I say I want to know the source, they will show me. and I can deal with that. So once I identify it, I name it, and then I can deal with it. So on that healing journey, some of the healing journey where recently I've been talking about healing chakras and getting rid of peripheral thinking, which I pause. And going through that portal is like that. And when I go through it, before I go through it, I usually have other guides with me, and the command is that this, and it's usually, it comes out as a grey shadow, as like a mid-grey shadow that comes out of me. And what I've noticed is there's not as much mid-grey shadow coming out of me as there used to be 3 years ago when I first started on this path. There's less, but they usually have something. Sometimes it's my pink ball, and sometimes they're holding a healing sphere to put it into, because once it's in there it alchemizes, and it's, you know, it comes back as peace, which is love, you know, because guides don't give you, my guides don't give me anything that is not linked to love, and because that's their role, that's their role, to help me, and I've asked. So going through them is really lovely because I heal, and then I can go into a pool. And pools are all different colours, I've noticed over the years, and I can have a swim in them, and I come out and I just feel energised and refreshed, and for the gaps are getting longer now, the longer gaps between negative thinking, unconscious negative thinking, and me acknowledging it, and also I can cut it off quicker, which I need to do, because what I don't need it to do is to pull an emotion out of me to support this negative thinking. I need to cut it off before we even get there, and that puts me in that beautiful position of being an observer, and I can observe what's happening in my world, and I can observe what's happening in the spiritual world, which is wonderful. So that's one. The second one is when I'm going up a level. I'm moving up a level because I've done some meditative work that's leveled, brought my vibration up higher, and now I need to level up. And some of these level ups have been small level ups, and they've happened in meditation. So all of a sudden I'm out, and then there's a portal. Now, if it says gated, not gated because there's no gate, but if it's got a solid structure around the portal that I see, and they're usually accompanied by hieroglyphics of some sort, or pictorial images, and it's not as shimmery, it's mobile, it's fluid, but it's like water fluid movement, you know, it's not shimmery, glittery, sparkly stuff. And I know when I'm going through there, and it's usually accompanied by my vibration having gone up, and it's screaming in my ear holes. And that means that there's some part of me, some component of my soul is levelling up, because the idea is to kind of get them into balance so they work synergistically with one another. It's like playing a piano. All the keys are there, but it all needs tuning. You know, you can't make a nice tune if you've got one key out. And the idea is, when it's all playing beautifully, it's divine music, and it brings peace and love. So I know now that when that appears, it's going to be like a tweaking of my components, and that doesn't bother me anymore. It used to bother me. Now that one always accompanies me leaving behind an old me and moving forward into a new me. The healing one, sometimes I go back and my other me is still there, and I know that there's more lessons. It might be lesson 1, but there'll be lesson 2 and 3 or whatever of this particular thing that they're trying to teach me, and so my body's still there. But if I manage the lesson, when I go back, it's not there. the other me, the old me is not there, and I've upgraded. Now if it's one of those mega missions that are a change of life ones, crossroads, definite, make a decision, stop being fearful of what the decision is, just do it. When I accept that challenge and I do that, and I go through a portal, there's a corridor type effect from one portal to another, and in that confined and secure environment, a lot of things come in. And before and around these events, I have really hypervisions, hyper hearing, but hypervisions, vivid dreams. But if anybody knows this, they'll know dreams are different than visions. The visions are me there, and the dreams are me seeing it. And I'm always in a corridor thing. Now that means I've got to make a massive lifestyle change. Something in me has to either accept and move forward, or let something go, or be open to another option and a new path, one that I didn't know about. And lots of information and lots of people come in, and it's almost like I've got two parallel visions going on in me when I'm doing this, running side by side. I know it's really hard to explain, but this is as good as I can get it for now. And those are the different types of portals, because when I come out of that portal, I feel completely different. There's like an unknown information that's gone into me that's made a difference to the way my subconscious and preconscious thinks about things. And these are quite often definite actions have to be taken, and you do it. None of this, oh, but no, we're past that. You've got to go and do it. So those are my viewpoints on the portals that are open to me. I know people have different ones, and I think that's fascinating. I love it when people have different ones. Anyway, thank you for listening.